Hello everyone, welcome to a new video. I'm Typical Politicking, and what I'm going to be talking with you guys today is about the Senate, the 2022 midterms. Yes, it is a year and 3/4 away, but these elections, they just come sooner and sooner, and before we know it, it's there, and we gotta start talking about it. So what I'm going to be doing in this video is categorizing the different states, what direction they're leaning in, and what I think is going to happen in the 2022 midterms. So typically the midterms, they're a referendum on the current party in power. In this case, it would be the Democrats. Now this is going to be largely based on how Biden performs, but let's say Biden has mediocre approval ratings. Republicans are going to be enthused, and they're going to want to come out in numbers in order to give a referendum on the current President Joe Biden. And so I'm just going to categorize a number of states which I think are going to go in a certain direction no matter what. So Hawaii is going to go Democrat, Washington, Oregon, California, Illinois, Maryland, Connecticut, Vermont, New York. They're all going to go to the Democrats by a safe margin. It's not even debatable. And Georgia, I already have filled in because that election doesn't happen until a few years. So the next states that are absolutely going Republican are Alaska, Idaho, Utah, North and South Dakota, Kansas, Oklahoma, Missouri, Arkansas, Louisiana, Alabama, Kentucky, Indiana, South Carolina, all by a safe margin, no matter what. So now I'm going to categorize some likely states. What states do I think are going to go to the Democrats by a likely margin? And I only have one here, and I think that's the state of Colorado. In years past, that state would have been considered competitive, but I think it's gone so far to the left at this point. And it voted for Joe Biden by such a huge amount, I don't see it reverting back unless something drastic happens. Unless if there's a major scandal or something, but I'm just going to categorize it as that. The other states that I think are going to go likely Republican, Iowa, just like how they did in the presidential election, Ohio. And I'm going to throw this, Florida. I think that Florida is going to go for a likely margin. It went for a likely margin for Marco Rubio in 2016. And in a red wave year, this is supposed to be a red wave year if we're looking at historical context. This would be likely Republican. Now, any states that I think are leaning Democrat, out of this whole list, I'd say it's probably New Hampshire. And the reason I say that is Democrats have been doing well there, especially in the presidential election. But if the current governor, Chris Sununu, a popular governor in the state who's a Republican, runs, this state I could categorize as complete toss-up. Complete toss-up. I think that's how it would turn out. So there are a bunch of these states here which I think are pure toss-ups. And you can't necessarily make enough categorizations about the states because there's not enough info, obviously, on who's going to be the opponents of the incumbents or who's going to be running on each side since you have a few retirements in Ohio, Pennsylvania, North Carolina. We have to see who the candidates are, too. But if we're going to follow historical record, let's assume there's a red wave. Let's assume that Republicans have the advantage. Which way do I think certain states are going to go? I think Wisconsin would stay with the Republicans. Ron Johnson, incumbent Republican, I think that he'd be able to keep that seat by a lean margin. North Carolina, lean margin for the Republicans. Pennsylvania, tilt Republican. I think that this would be one of the closer states. That would go to the Republicans. The state of Arizona, this is a tricky one, but I would actually say tilt Democrat. Why? Mark Kelly's fairly popular, And the Republicans haven't been able to really find their ground in that state. They haven't been able to push forward whether they want an establishment or a Trump candidate, and they've been leaving the candidates behind who have been doing fairly well in the state, such as Jeff Flake, John McCain. And now they're going for the McSally type Republicans, which lose in the state. So if Republicans want to gain that Senate seat back, they're going to have to get their act together. The state of Nevada, I'd say lean Democrat or tilt Democrat, I could say. This state is always really close, and I think in a red wave here, this could get close. It could flip. I think it could flip. But as of right now, I don't see enough evidence to say that it's going to flip. But out of the state of Georgia, I actually think that this state is going to flip. Why? Because in the 2020 election, there was unusually high turnout because of the mail-in ballots. Now, assuming in 2022 that coronavirus is gone, we're going to assume that it's going to be gone. Then there's going to be a lower turnout naturally. And in the Republican wave year, that state could very well flip back towards the Republicans. And that's what I have for you guys. I predict that based on the evidence that we have right now, 51-49, the Republicans gain back control, and Mitch McConnell is the majority leader. Again, there's so much stuff that we don't know. We have to see how Biden's term goes, but if I'm following historical record, then this is very well how it could turn out. Thank you guys for watching the video. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe for more content like this, and let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you.